Hey guys, it's Kevin. Welcome to another video on one of my recent projects I completed in Photoshop. What I want to do today is kind of show you my process. This took about 2 hours in Photoshop, and I want to show you how I created this image. So first thing I did is what I always do is I start off with a sketch. I always want to sketch this out, even though it looks like a pretty rough drawing here. I want to know exactly what I'm trying to create here. And the scene that I'm going for is going to be this underwater scene where we have someone who is in their bed, they're sleeping on the bed, or they're laying in the bed and they're underwater. So kind of a surreal scene right here. Now the pictures that I'm using here are mostly my own photography. You see the pictures of the sand, which was taken in North Carolina on some of the sand dunes. That's going to be the surface of or the bottom of the ocean here, and then the bed that you see laying there. That is something that I created in Cinema 4D a while back, but I saved it just in case I wanted to use it in the future. So I modeled that bed. And I've also got the images in the background. That's a picture of my wife there. She is on the ground reaching up, and she's in a dress right now, which doesn't make a lot of sense for a bed, but we're going to have a sheet over top of her, so it's not too big of a deal here. But what I'm doing most of this Photoshopping is just bringing in pictures, just bringing in different elements. So I'm bringing in the seaweed that's going to go in the front right here, and just kind of creating a little bit of depth to this image. You see the rocks. I took these rocks at a local park, a mountain park, and these are going to go underneath the ocean as well. So I'm just trying to add all of these different elements here that are going to make this scene look a little bit more believable. You see the bubbles there. I created the bubbles at home using a fish tank, and then you see this sheet as well. And so you see all of these different images, blending them together in Photoshop. Really the hardest part about projects like this is getting all of the light to match, because each one of these images were taken under different light setups. Some were taken outside on a sunny day, some were taken inside, some were taken underwater, some were taken, at sunset. And so a lot of it is just getting all of the colors and the contrast to match, the shadows to match. That's really the trickiest part here. So you do see me doing a lot of painting here, painting some highlights and some shadows as well, trying to get the lights to match up as best as possible. I also do have this lamp here. You see this lamp that's kind of floating in the water beside it. Modeled that in Cinema 4D as well. And I just wanted to have a little bit of a different color dynamics going on here. You have the color that's coming up from the surface of the water going down, but you also have a light source under the water in the lamp, and sometimes it's fun to play with both of those. You see where I'm drawing the hair now. I'm just using a regular brush in Photoshop just to draw some little strands of hair. If you zoom in, it looks a little sloppy. But what I do later is I just blur a lot of those hair follicles going through the water. Just trying to make it look like they're moving at a pretty good speed and they're kind of floating in the water. But that was all done with a Photoshop brush, just a regular brush. I did have some pictures of fish as well, taken from the local aquariums and science centers that we have nearby. And I just wanted to add them in the water as well, in front of the model and also behind the model, just again to create that little depth. I like this little fish that I added here, this little angelfish, because he's right near that lamp, and so that's pretty cool to add some highlights to him to show that he is interacting with that bright lamp right there. And so little details like that are always fun to include in the project. But just again, it was taken at the local aquarium, and then I just wanted to merge it into the scene. Pretty much the rest of the way here is just a little bit of fine details and also a lot of color grading. I didn't have to do much color grading. I could have left it just like this, but I experimented with different gradient maps and different selective colors and color balances and all that until I finally arrived at something that was mostly blue, but had a lot of warm tones coming from the surface of the water and also from the lamp. And so I like the end result. I like how everything came together, just using that color grade just to bring it together. And so here is the final version of the picture. You can see there's my wife right there, and she is coming. She is, laying in the bed, she's reaching up, and I think this is a pretty fun picture to do. It took about 2 hours in Photoshop, but I really enjoyed this project, and hope that you enjoyed this little behind the scenes video. That's all I got for today. Hope that you enjoy it, and I'll see you again at the next video.